Hello my friends, welcome to Haein Yoga. In this session, we will be practicing yoga for hamstring flexibility. This is an all-level Hatha Yoga sequence mixed with both dynamic moves and longer posture holding to increase your range of motion. This class is accessible for those who find themselves stiff as well as interesting and fun for those who are deep in the way. You will need yoga belt or any other belt or long towel. Make sure you have enough space on each side as this sequence takes up quite some space. As we go into this session, my invitation is approaching flexibility in active, engaged way. The reason why is that this is safer and also builds more resilience as you are working with two forces that seems to be the opposite. Engagement and letting go. All right, let's do this. Let's start in standing pose. Have your feet about hip wide distance and let's be in the front of the mat. And let's have the hands around the hips and gently fold forward. And from here, let's place our hands. You're welcome to bend your knees as much as you feel comfortable. You want to feel the back of the leg, but you don't want to be in too great discomfort. If you are in too great discomfort, you will be busy protecting yourself than opening yourself to the experience. So bend your knees if you need to really accommodate the intensity of the sensation that you are able to hold. And from there, just simply bend one knee at a time a little bit deeper. Keep your hands on the floor, gently gaze forward. Have your back slightly engaged, meaning you're not folded down all the way, but your chest is lifted up and forward slightly. And then bend your elbows, soften your hands so that you have a little more weight on your feet and continue the walk. So now you will feel a little stronger in the back and the side of your leg because there is less weight on your hand and more weight on your feet. Continue the walk side to side just for a few more breaths. And as you do that, also saying hello to the back of the leg and side of the leg. Okay. And from here, let's come down on the floor. Lie down on your back. And we're going to come to bridge pose. Have your feet hip wide distance, your heels under your knees. Raise your hips and interlock your fingers and find your arms under your body. And from here, hug the legs into the center line. Press your left foot against the floor and slowly lift up your right knee and reach up all the way to the ceiling as much as you can. And a couple of breaths here. So the reason why we are doing this when we're working on hamstring flexibility is you feel that you are engaging a lot your hamstring. So we are actually activating the hamstring before we get into stretching that muscle to really wake up that part of the body we will be working with. And change the leg. Lift up the left leg. It's a bit like a knocking, knocking the door. Before asking to open. One more breath. And slowly release. All right. Slowly bring your hips down on the floor. And we're going to continue with a single leg raise. Have your legs, let's have the left leg stretched on the floor and rise your right leg up. Put the belt around your right foot. If you can reach your foot, you can also use your hand. But I really recommend you to use the belt or anything that would really extend your arms. A few breaths here. Think of really grounding your left heel on the floor, pressing it down. Not through the back of the knee, but really through the heel. And with your right leg, think of as you pull the belt or your foot towards your chest, have that pressure coming through your hips and into the ground. Try to ground your sacrum on the floor. And try to have your abdomen long instead of crunching, because if you crunch, your hips will lift up a little bit. Lengthen the both sides of your waist so that your right hip is not climbing up through the side. Ground your shoulders. Keep a bit of bend in your elbows so that you're not holding on to the belt or on your foot. Okay, now stay there. If you are holding the belt, use just your right hand to hold the belt. If you're holding the foot with your hand, just use your right hand to hold the foot. And stretch your left arm to the left side. I'll show you this in standing, but lie down. Hold the belt with your right hand or just with your right hand. Stretch your left arm to the side and slowly open the leg to the side. As you do that, roll your left hip out and down, out and down and out and down. Turn the head to your left side. And think of really grounding the both corner of your hips. Think of widening. And one more breath. And slowly bring it back to the center. Change the hand. You may need to lose the belt a little bit. If you are using your hand, hold on to your toes. Stretch your right arm to your right side and slowly lower the leg to your left side. Your left toe may fall to the side. That is okay. But just make sure that you don't let your leg fall boom, but slowly lowering the leg to the side. As you do that, roll your right hip down so that your right side of the waist stay really long. Turn the gaze to your right side. And slowly coming back and release. Continue with the other leg. Left leg up. Few breaths here. And again, grounding your right heel. And maybe just lift up your head for a moment to see if your right foot is really aligned with your hips. Better it is aligned, it's going to create a better leverage for you to bring the left leg closer. Engage your feet. Just by flexing your feet, it changes everything. And in the end, it's not really about how close your leg is, isn't it? It's about, because wherever the legs are, what we are experiencing is a sensation, and we can't really measure our experiences by how low the leg is to the chest, but we measure the experience by the sensations that we are experiencing. So really tune in with those sensations that you are feeling in the back of the leg and finding a right place where you can really attend to. And challenge is enough. Ground your shoulders. Hug the legs into the center line. One more breath. And hold the belt or the foot with your left hand. You can hold, if you're holding the foot, hold the inside of the foot or the heel or the toes. And slowly lower the leg down to your left side. Again, I will be standing in case you're looking. But otherwise, but stay on the floor. The left leg does not need to touch the ground. So what is the, where we are orientating this posture from is really the center line. You don't want your hips, your right side of the hips to lift up. So that's kind of the measuring point. You want to ground that right hip so that you don't fall to the left side nor leaning too much to the left side. Remain, stay strong in your center. Even though it's very tempting to let go, remain in your center. Slowly come back, change the hand. You may need to release the belt a little bit more as we go to the twist. And slowly turn, let the leg go down to your right side. And as you do that, you can also bend your right elbow and press that right elbow against the floor so that you're not carrying your leg is not carrying the weight, but your arm is helping to carry the weight. Once again, your right toe may fall to the side. That's okay. If you want to resist, that's also okay. It creates a little different effect, but both are pretty amazing. Slowly bring back to the center and release. Let's hold the back of the leg and give a good squeeze. Contracting your hamstring. And then slowly roll up to seated position. And let's have the right leg stretched forward and the left knee bent. Have the bottom of your left foot against your thigh, inner thigh, and bring it close to your groin. And make sure your hips are facing forward towards your right foot instead of towards your left knee. Okay. Have your fingertips on the side and the front and gently lift up. As you lift up, press your hips against the floor. Okay, let's take a deep breath in together. And as you exhale, fold forward. You're welcome to use the belt. Belt is very, very powerful tool because as it extends the length of your arms, it really helps, it gives you more space in this posture. And as you have more space, it helps you to be in more integrity with your whole body. So whether you're using the belt or not, lift up your chest. Head touching the leg is, how to say, that is not the goal, isn't it? That is not the goal. That is a kind of a post where we will know that we are going to the right direction. It's an evidence, but that's not the goal. So Once again, focus on the sensation of the back of your leg where we are working. And at the same time, keep your awareness to really attend your whole body, how your whole body is supporting this experience. And let your whole body really back from behind. So your chest is lifted up. As your chest is lifted up, the weight is going down to your hips and to your leg, rather than cutting it into and bring more weight towards the head. So wherever you are, however far you are between your head and your foot, let's honor this experience. Honor what is unfolding now, because this is all there is. This is all there is. Now, just one more breath. Relax your head. If you haven't yet, relax your head. And as you do that, it's not about bringing the head to the leg. It's very tempting, I know, but relax the head and elongate your back so that you create a beautiful round shape in your back in a very natural way. And as you bow, you will notice the sensation in your back and the back of the leg continuing into your upper back and in your head. So we bow our head to merge into the experience of the whole body. With next inhalation, let's slowly come back up and let's change the leg. Okay. Arms on the side and gently lift up. Flex the foot really well and keep your toes pointing up so that we are really walking with the back of the leg. When the toes turn out, then it make other parts accessible, but it's not where we are working today. Inhale, lift up, and exhale. Keep your belly really long. Lift up the chest. Start from the ground, not from the head diving. Start from the belly. Think of bringing your belly towards your thigh and going forward. Continue with your ribs. Focus more on elongation rather than bending or folding. Keep breathing. And when you come to a place where it's really intense, just step back just a little bit. It's okay. It's really okay to retreat sometimes. It is even necessary, actually. And taking one step back is not giving up. So we are working on flexibility. Be flexible with where you are. If we think the forward is the only way, wow, that's quite some difficulty we're putting ourselves in. Slowly bow your head. And as you bow your head, let the head merge into the experience of this body. And take this as a gesture that the mind, the head, really supporting the body. Take one more deep breath. And let's slowly coming back up. Well done. Let's come to downward facing dog. Now we're going to go into a little bit more active pose. From downward facing dog, lift up your right leg. And I'm going to ask you to I'm going to allow you to give you permission to open your hips so that you lift up your right leg as high as you can, so that it makes it a bit easier for your arms. Higher your legs go, it will be easier for your arms. And now from here, really kick that right leg up as high as you can. Lift up your left heel. And as you do that, lift up that, kick back that right leg farther. Like actively kicking up. And then slowly ground your left heel. And as you ground your left heel, lift up your left toe as much as you can. You may keep your knees bent a little bit. That's okay. Just make sure your shoulder is open. So that we have most of the weight on your leg. Lift up the heels and ground your heels and lift up the toes. Repeat this just 2 more times. Do this slowly. Okay. Swing your right leg forward, in between your hand. Place your back knee on the ground. Keep your hands on the side of your right foot and gently lift up the chest and look up. Allow your hips to drop. And take 1 more inhalation. And as you exhale, lean back with your hips so that your hips come on top of your knees. Straighten your right knee and flex your right foot as much as you can and fold forward. We're going to repeat this few more times in dynamic way. Inhale, go forward into low lunge. Allow your hips to drop. Lift up the chest and look up. And exhale, lean back, straighten your right knee. Flex your right foot and fold forward. Inhale forward. Lift up the chest. Lift up the gaze. Exhale. Lean back. Fold forward. 2 more times. Inhale forward. And exhale. Half split. Inhale forward. Last one. And exhale, hips back. Straighten your knees as much as you can. Flex the front foot and fold forward. Go forward, hands on the floor, downward facing dog. Inhale here. And exhale here. Let's lift up the left leg this time. And again, open your hips so that you can lift up your left leg as high as you can. And from here, lift up the right heel and kick up with your left leg a little bit higher, like actively, not just hanging that leg up there, but kick up with your toes. And slowly ground the heel, right heel, and eventually lift up the toes. If your right knee is slightly bent, that is okay. Inhale, lift up the heel, kick up that left leg a little higher, and ground the heels. Lift up the toes. 1 more. Inhale up. And exhale down. Lift up the toes. Swing the left leg forward in between your hands. Back knee on the ground. Stay on your fingertips on the side of your feet. Inhale. Lift up the chest and look up. Drop the hips. Exhale. Straighten your front knee. Lean back with your back heel. And fold forward. Inhale forward, drop the hips into low lunge, and exhale, half split, fold forward. Inhale 3 more times, forward and up. Exhale. Inhale forward. And exhale. 1 last time. Inhale forward. Lift up the chest. Finish with the gaze. Allow your hips to drop. Exhale, hips back. Straighten your front leg. Flex the foot and fold forward. And inhale forward. Hands on the floor. Downward facing dog. Okay. Walk your feet forward all the way to your hands. Have your feet hip-wide distance. Come up on your fingertips and straighten your back as much as you can. Lift up the tailbone, think of almost arching and have your chest pulled forward and open. And from here, keeping the weight towards your toes, slowly bend your knees. As you do that, try to keep your abdomen long. Lift up your kneecap and keep bending the elbows till a point where you feel like you can go naturally without forcing, but just with the weight. And then once you arrive at that point, then press with your hands against the floor away from you, a bit like backward. And as you do that, resist with your toes, activate your core to bring your abdomen close to your thigh. It's a bit like activating your core to bringing your abdomen to the thigh. That's what I just said. I'm repeating myself. And as you do that, lift up your tailbone. So it's slightly forced, engaged. Forward bend, both with the weight and also with our muscles. Okay, and now from here, lift up your head, bend your knees a little bit, and drop your head once again. Hold on to your elbows. Let's let the weight of our upper body finish the job for this time. Take one more deep breath. Keeping your knees bent and slowly roll back up. Thank you everyone in joining me on this video. A question I want to leave you with is, which area in your life would you like more flexibility? This question is to understand the value of flexibility and the reason why we are working on flexibility in yoga. Comment below if you like this video, give a thumb up and subscribe to my channel for weekly yoga practice. I wish you a beautiful day and see you next week. Keep shine on.